Hi everyone. I'm Trivia from IndiCure, and welcome to our podcast where we discuss about journeys beyond borders and the healing experiences of our patients. So for this episode, we have Mr. Russell Eddy, all the way from New Zealand, and let's get to his story. So, Mr. Russell, could you just give us a brief introduction of yourself?
Yeah, I'm 69-year-old. Always been very active. Love the outdoors. Sort of hunting, fishing, sort of taking my dog for long walks, and it's just love the outdoors.
That's nice. So I just want to know as to what experiences did you have prior to coming to India? What difficulties you were facing? What were the obstacles?
Yeah, when my hip first got sore about 7 months ago. Mm-hmm. I went to the hospital. I was getting physiotherapy. I was getting acupuncture, and nothing seemed to work. And I got them to go through and do an X-ray, and then get a referral through to a specialist in Christchurch. And that took 4 months just to get in to see a specialist.
Oh, that's a long time.
Yeah. And then after I'd seen the specialist, or just prior to seeing the specialist, I saw a wee piece in the paper where there was a New Zealand nurse from Tauranga came over to get 2 hips replaced.
Right.
And I going, So I started making an inquiry, and that was when I first contacted IndiCure to find out sort of what viability, what the costs and that were, and I was pleasantly surprised. And then I had my specialist appointment, and I asked him, and I said, well, what's in his, well, your hip needs replacing. If I went in the public system, it was going to be probably a minimum of 8-month wait time.
That's a lot.
And if I went private with him, it would be 6 to 8 weeks and cost probably in the region around $35,000.
That's a huge amount.
So as soon as I'd seen the specialist, I came home that night and got hold of IndiCure and said, book me in.
So I'm glad that you chose us, of course. So when you went through the public system, so the waiting time that was set to you was around 9 months. So what was your feeling regarding that?
Well, if I had to wait another 9 months, I think my other hip would have needed replacing it. Because when I was getting around taking my dog for short walks, my right hip would start getting a little bit sore. So I didn't want to wait another,
of course,
8 or 9 months because otherwise I wouldn't have been walking.
Right, that would be a huge amount of time to wait when somebody is actually in so much of pain. So, but ultimately, we are glad that you chose us, for sure. So, when you discovered about India as a medical tourism destination, so what were your thoughts, and what other countries were you looking at if you were?
I made a couple of inquiries, and one of them went all through Turkey and a lot of other far-flung countries that I didn't feel comfortable with. And so I did a little bit more research on IndiCure, and they gave me the name of Dr. Mudit Khanna, so I did a little bit of a nosy around on there. And then I spoke to my son about it, and he went through and he trolled through and found all of the references from people, and he went and checked them all out. And one of my other lady that I used to work for, an administrator of mine, she also made inquiries. And so they're all looking out for me to make sure that I was making the right decision, because I had already decided, well, I'm going. I can get it done in, well, it was about 6 weeks by the time I'd said yes, I'm coming, and booked my airfares to when we got here. But I could have gone earlier, except my son was a bit busy, the one that was going to come with me. So
no, it all works out for the best.
Yeah, I certainly don't regret it.
Absolutely, that's really nice to hear. And how was your experience like with Dr. Mudit at Wokhad Hospital?
He's a funny man. He's really nice, down to earth. from the day that we came in, and he sat us down and explained the whole process to us.
Right.
Showed us the mock-ups of the hip joint, and then explained, what he was doing. From the stem, the ceramic ball, to having like the two bearings inside the actual pivot point.
Right.
And he said, and by also coming through the anterior,
Right.
that the recovery time is so much quicker.
Right.
But by using his methodology, there's less chance of a dislocation.
Right.
And he said, and there is no limitations. The limitation is on you.
Absolutely. It's upon you.
Not the actual, the replacement joint, which I'd been reading all the articles back in New Zealand where I was going to be at least 3 or 4 weeks walking around with a walker or some aid. Not allowed to cross your legs, not allowed to sleep with one leg up, and none of that.
None of that was happening here.
None of that was with this process. So,
right. So as you mentioned, what was the recovery time that was suggested to you back in New Zealand?
Big pardon?
The recovery time that was suggested to you post your surgery in New Zealand.
It was going to be anything up to 3 months to 6 months before I was going to be fully
able to walk on your own.
Yeah,
without
and it was probably 3 weeks minimum of before I could start dispensing with a crutch or.
Oh, that's a lot to take in, of course. And I think you're 2 weeks post-op now, and you're walking very well.
Yeah.
And yes.
Well, I couldn't believe it after the operation. They would have got me up that afternoon, but my feet and everything in there were still numb. Otherwise, they would have had me up that afternoon of the operation.
Oh, that's
so
nice.
The next morning, they'd given me a little bit of a frame, so I used that to go up and down the hallway and get around. And then the lovely physio, it was first the nurse came through, and I said, well, is my frame going to come back? And she said, well, do you need it to get through to the bathroom? And I said, well, no, I can get up and walk around there. And she said, well, you don't need it then, do you? And I'm going, oh, crap.
It's all about the positive attitude.
Yeah, so it was get on with it, harden up, start walking.
Right.
And that afternoon, the physio came through, did all my exercises again in the bed, got out, walked up the hallway, and then she took me up and down a flight of stairs, and that was day one.
That was day one.
And I'm going,
So from 4 weeks to day one, your walking experience, it must be a huge difference.
and it's when I get out and about and do a lot of walking,
Right.
it does get a little bit sore, but hey, I'm still walking.
Absolutely. So what made you get your cataract surgery? Because I remember speaking with you, and you had called up and you had said that, I really want to get an ophthalmologist appointment. I might as well. So what made you think of going for that surgery in India?
I didn't actually think about it when I first contacted IndiCure.
Right.
And it was only later on I I wonder if I can fit that in while I'm here. And I made that inquiry, and when you said it was going, I'm going, wow, brilliant.
So I think we had that appointment scheduled for you that evening, and within a couple of days you were scheduled for your cataract surgery. So what that experience was like for you?
Yeah, that was good. And it was, I was probably felt more daunted going in to get my cataract surgery than what I was to getting my hip done. And I just felt a little bit more apprehensive, but hey, it was brilliant. Lying on the table for holding still and not moving, one muscle in your body sort of thing there for about 3/4 of an hour.
Oh my!
Yeah, that was hard, but we got through it.
But we got through it.
Yeah.
Yes. So you're doing all well post surgery. So
yeah, it's the vision is still a little bit blurry, but it's getting better.
But you're coming back on track with the vision, I believe.
Yeah, so 4 weeks' time, I'll have to go in and spend some more money and get some new glasses.
But well, at least we saved a lot on spending for the surgery,
Yes.
getting it done in New Zealand through the health system there.
Well, all up, I reckon I've even paying all of our accommodation, airfares to come over here. I've reckoned it's probably between a third and a half of what it would have cost me in New Zealand.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah.
That's really huge. And also, I just want to know, would you recommend other people about IndiCure and India as your destination for getting the orthopedic surgery or any surgery for that matter?
I would, and there's some of the older people that I sort of have a circle back in Kaikoura are very, very interested to see how I get on.
Right.
And also with both of my sons and everything there, I used to work alongside a lot of the people that they do, and a lot of them are very curious to see what the outcome is.
How your progress has been and how you have been in general, I believe. No, but that's amazing, and I believe your son is also documenting your journey online through his page as well. So I hope that you recover very well, and I just want to know about your experience in India as well, other than your medical side.
Oh, it's hectic. Yeah, so I come from a town of 2,500 people, and to come to Mumbai, which is I think got 20 million plus, and it's different.
It's very different.
And this is supposedly the very humid and hot time, and we haven't. Neither of us have really found it that bad.
Apart from that, apart from the humidness, I think you're enjoying the food better here.
Oh, I love the food.
And the hospitality of the people, what do you think about that?
People everywhere I've been, the nurses in the hospital, they were brilliant. There's a little bit of a language barrier, and it's the same here in the hotel. You talk to them or ask them a question, but you're not quite sure whether they fully understand what you've asked.
That could be one aspect we need to work on.
Yeah, but it's the people in the hotel here have been brilliant as well.
So glad to
when
hear
we get down to the first morning that we got in and went in for breakfast, and then they found out, that we're foreigners and everything in there, and it comes up, oh, would you like eggs? They didn't have a sign up, and then he brings out a sign and puts it up, so eggs on request. It's just little things, and they've got to know us now and everything in there. When we go in for breakfast, they'll get us a coffee, and they don't bother asking whether we want sugar anymore, because they just give us a coffee without the sugar.
So now they've understood your orders as well, I believe. So they are quite familiar with you. But ultimately, we are glad that you have had a successful trip to India. Like, you came here and you got what you were actually intending to get.
Yes.
And one last question I want to ask: how has the surgery that you got done with us and the experience with IndiCure has been throughout with you?
It's been good. We had a little bit of a glitch yesterday and everything in there with being able to get to see the Dr. Kataria. But other than that, it's been brilliant. The IndiCure has bent over backwards really for helping us out and arranging things for us.
We are glad to be of help to you, sir. So that's lovely to hear. And actually, to have story come out from a person who has experienced it, that's the most important aspect of it. And we are so glad that you have actually enjoyed the experience so far, and you're going back with a lot of good memories, I believe.
We will, fly home 21 hours and all up in an aeroplane with two stops. So it's going to be around probably 24 hours to get back home again. But hey, but I think it's worth it in the long run.
I hope so too, and I really hope that you get well soon, and we wish you all the very best for your future, and we hope that you could recommend more of your friends and family to us, and of course we would stay in touch. If at all you face any problems in the future, you can just feel free to help us out at any given point of time.
No, thank you very much. I've just greatly appreciated everything that you've done for me.
Thank you so much, Mr. Russell. So this was the podcast with Mr. Russell, and I would like to conclude it by saying that you guys have to stay informed, and whenever you're planning your medical tourism journey, always research and go for the ones which have their name established, or they have legitimate contacts. And for more information you can contact our website, which is www.indicure.com, and I shall see you in the very next podcast. Thank you so much.